Hello, students. This is Neeta Vichu. Welcome back to another class of business studies. In our today's class, we're going to study about the merits and limitations of joint stock company. In our previous class, we studied about joint stock company, its meaning, and its features. And in today's class, we're going to do the merits and limitations. First, we shall go through the merits of the joint stock company one by one. The first one is limited liability. The second one is perpetual existence. The third one is scope for expansion. And the fourth one is professional management. These are the points of merits of joint stock company. We shall study this one by one. The first one is limited liability. The liability of the members is limited only to the extent of shares held by them. The personal property of the shareholders is not attached to the business for the payment of debt. So this is the greatest merit or advantage of a joint stock company, wherein the shareholders do not have unlimited liability. Their personal property is not used for the payment of debt to the creditors. So here the liability of the members is limited and they have to pay only to the extent of shares held by them or the contribution of capital what they have done. Only to that extent they have to make payment, not more, not less. No members or shareholders personal property is attached to the business for the payment of debt, and so it becomes the greatest merit of joint stock company, that is limited liability of its members. The second merit is perpetual existence. So the perpetual existence means it has a long life, it has a continuous life. So the life of the company is not affected by the death, retirement, the resignation, etc. of any member. The members may come and the members may go, but the company will continue to exist. So this is what happens in a perpetual existence. The one of the very important, we can say, merit or the plus point of joint stock company. It is totally irrespective and of its members. Whether members may join, members may go, members may die, members may retire, members may leave, whatsoever may happen to the members, the joint stock company has a continuous life. So it goes on existing for a long period of time irrespective of its members, because it is separately treated as a separate legal entity, and that is why it is created by law and it has to end only by law, and that is why it has a perpetual existence, means continuous existence. Next merit is scope for expansion. Yes, the joint stock company has huge financial resources because the capital is raised from the public and through loans from banks and financial institutions. Thus, there is greater scope for growth and expansion. Yes, it's very much possible. Unlike a partnership and like a sole proprietorship where the resources are very limited, here the resources are huge enough so that they can plan for future expansion and growth projects. Here what happens is financial resources, the capital or the funds are raised from the public, and very importantly they get very easily loans from banks and financial institutions since they are huge organizations. So that is why scope for expansion is more in a joint stock company. Next one is professional management. So a joint stock company will have professional management where the managers will be experts and specialized in managerial skills, and this in turn will increase the efficiency of the organization. Yes, in every you can say joint stock company, huge company, the company or the organization can afford to pay high salary to the managers, and so the company can hire highly qualified and expert and specialized managers who are expert in managerial skills. So such managers will have professional approach towards the organization, and this will in turn increase the efficiency of the management as well as the organization. So professional management is very much possible and it is a plus point or merit in a joint stock company, since company can afford to pay high salary to the experts and to the highly qualified managers. Now we're going to study about the drawbacks or the limitations of joint stock company one by one. The first one is complexity in formation. The second one is lack of secrecy. The third one is delay in decision making. And the fourth one is conflict in interest. So these are the points of drawback or limitations. The negative points of joint stock company. We'll study this one by one. The first one is complexity in formation. So the formation of the company is very much time consuming and expensive. It has to follow many legal procedures, and thus the formation of the company is complex or difficult. It's too difficult, it's too hectic process, it's too expensive process, very much time consuming process. It, as we have already studied in the features, it involves so many legal formalities, legal procedures, and documentation preparation, so on and so forth, and that is why it becomes very complex or difficult to form this one we can say joint stock company, because it is a company and it takes time for incorporation certificate. So this is a long and lengthy process, and it is very difficult to start or form one joint stock company, and this becomes the greatest drawback or negative point of a joint stock company. Next one is lack of secrecy. Yes, the Companies Act, that is 2013, we have already studied. The Companies Act requires every public company to publish its accounts and other information to the public, and therefore it becomes difficult for a company to maintain secrecy about the business operations. Yes, unlike proprietorship, unlike partnership, wherein they need not have any accounts published, they need not worry about any operation to be published. So here there they can keep secrecy, but in joint stock company it is not possible, or it is impossible to keep the business operation secret, since it is required under the act that they have to publish their accounts and other vital information to the public, so that shareholders will get to know the real financial position of the company. So lack of secrecy is they cannot maintain secrecy of any business operation. So this becomes a drawback again. Next one is delay in decision making. So the joint stock company has to follow the scalar chain while taking any decision. The decision flows from the top level management, then the middle level, and then the lower level management, and this will cause delay in decision making and quick action. So delay in decision making is there in most of the public limited company, because there is a scalar chain where you have different levels of management. We'll study in our PU2, that is this is just a brief introduction of scalar chain, wherein you have three levels of management: the top level management, the middle level management, and the supervisory level of management. So in every company it's very strictly followed. Scalar chain has to be strictly followed, and the protocol should be followed, and that is why decision making starts from the top level, and then it comes to the middle level, then the middle level to the supervisory level, and this is how the hierarchy is followed and the scalar chain is followed. And that is why any decision making is delayed, and prompt action is also not taken. So this delay in decision making is very common, you can say, drawback in joint stock company. Next one is conflict in interest. So there may be conflict in interest among various stakeholders of the company, such as employees or consumers, shareholders, etc., and it becomes difficult for the management to satisfy all the parties. Yes, the conflict, when two or more people are there anywhere, the conflicts may arise. It's very obvious there, and it's quite natural and very normal. Conflicts or arguments or misunderstanding, difference of opinion will take place, especially in a joint stock company where are different parties, where there are different groups of people, like the stakeholders, like employees or the consumers or the shareholders. They'll have different demands, and all these demands cannot be satisfied by the management or the organization. So this becomes again a big drawback for the joint stock company, that is conflict in interest. So this is all for today's class, dear students. I hope you have understood the merits and limitations of joint stock company. Thank you.